Hope you're doing good. Micah back with another video. Back here to talk about the 2024 Honda Civic Sportback, as I like to call it. It's the sport hatchback model. And taking it on a 700-mile road trip, basically back and forth from Georgia to North Carolina. I just want to talk about how that ride was, what it was like experiencing a first legit road trip in that way in this car. 6 hours one direction, 6 hours back. So let's get into that. If you can hear some subtle air in the background, that's because I have the air blasting in the car because it's like 90 degrees outside, 87 degrees outside right now. So we're gonna get out, we're gonna talk about the vehicle and then jump back in about some of the things that I noticed, that I appreciated, some things that I hope don't pop up again while driving the vehicle. So you know what, let's get into it. Goodness gracious, guys, it does not make sense how smooth the ride was in my 2024 Honda Civic. This car did its absolute thing driving from Georgia to North Carolina. When I tell you we only had to fill up like half a time once, my range on a full tank is anywhere between 320 miles and 345 miles. And at the time before leaving, we were averaging just under 26 miles an hour, or 26 miles per gallon. Once we filled up, we took off. We waited about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. You could even say almost 4 hours before we actually decided to pull over and fill her up again. At that point, we were around 80 miles. It only cost about $27 to fill up from 80 miles, about $25 to fill up. And that's what the first fill up to actually leave, and then the midway fill up after having about 80 miles left. It took another about $25 to fill up from 80 miles to full again. Made the rest of the trip, the next 2 hours to get to North Carolina. And then on the way back, it was the same way. We had about 80 miles. We had just under like 3/4 of a tank before we actually decided to fill. So we actually drove on 3/4, drove about 3 hours, got to that 80-mile range again, another $25, filled up, made the rest of the drive home. I have 108 miles left as a recording of this video right now. She is fantastic. We call her Miss Pearlz, or Pearlz for short, because again, that beautiful white is stunning on this vehicle. I mean, just look at that profile right there. Look at that. Let me get that picture real quick, because I have been just enjoying this ride. You guys probably see some marks. This is as a result of the road trip, road bugs, whatnot, running straight into her. Still got the platinum logo. I haven't really done a lot of adjusting or customization of her yet. This is still as is for the most part, and exteriorly, because her aesthetic is beautiful. I haven't really had to do too much. We are at the 2,000 mile milestone for her, and you see, putting 2,000 miles on her in about a month is, I guess you could say, par for the course, especially a new car that you want to drive, feel out. You're running it for the channel. And so just looking at the rims and how the rims look, you guys can see that the rims look just fine. The rims still look, they just need to be cleaned, right? But they're still shiny. They still work beautifully. So when you just look at that, guys. Lord have mercy. So yes, my Civic has been doing its thing. Shout out to Honda for making such a beautiful vehicle. Windshield, the rear windshield wiper blade, I didn't even have to use, because funny enough, while driving, we had hit spotty rain on the way back. The back windshield never got wet once while driving in the rain. Not once. The entire windshield was dry. I was watching through my rearview mirror ready to use the wiper, because I was using the front wiper, as you guys can see the streaks, along the edge there. The rear windshield wiper never got wet. So shout out to Honda for making such a dope aerodynamic car, just cutting through the wind and air like that and being able to stay clean. Like, boy, I don't even know how much I love this vehicle. Like, I have no problems getting out and driving. As you guys see, just some more bugs just splattering on. So she does need a car wash. It's been a month. I have not washed her since leaving the dealer. mainly because it's white, so you don't really notice a lot of dirt until like you really get close up to it and you start seeing, you know, the streaks and bug kill and bug splatter and some bird doo-doo here and there. But other than that, she's been running fantastic. So let me show you guys something out here in the trunk real quick. One of the things that I appreciated was this trunk space. I kept all this in here. We put one mini suitcase right there. We put my travel backpack, not my Peak Design, my homie bag, because for whatever reason, I was just more comfortable using that bag with my MacBook. And I have my camera gear in my Peak Design bag, so that's why I didn't use it. It's basically like my camera storage as of this point. Her little, you know, pouch full of her stuff, and then my little suit holder, because we went to go support my little bro, my brother-in-law, but I call him my little bro. He was giving his first public discourse, so we wanted to go see it in person, and so that's why we traveled 6 hours, which isn't a bad drive. One of the things that really impressed Candace about the drive, because I drove all 12 hours. She didn't drive now one time. I drove all 12 hours. And one of the things that she appreciated both times, which was hilarious, was how fast the drive was. And no, not necessarily because I was driving fast, right? What she appreciated the most about this drive was the fact that it was super smooth. The drive was super smooth. Let me go ahead and I like to leave this on auto. So if you guys can see there, it's on auto. I have it recirculating the air inside because I want to keep my new car smell. But I don't touch anything else. I let the car regulate the air, and even Candace is starting to get used to that a little bit. So the ride was uber smooth. I mean, even with the moments where like the road was a little bit bumpy here and there, this car drove so smoothly across everything. Even some, you know, accidental or surprising hidden potholes that we kind of struck to some degree from time to time. It was such a beautiful drive there and back. We could see the scenery. We do want to get more tint. Again, remember, this is a longevity process, modding and customizing the car, just taking in the car as of what it is right now, because it's such a beautiful car as is. And a lot of little subtle things you're doing is like kind of under the hood, adding some what should we call it? The rock guards, basically, or mud flaps, whatever you want to call them. I gotta add them to the tires because I haven't done it yet. But if we jump back out real quick, you guys will see even down here. If we zoom in, it's still outside of dirt. Nothing's cracked. Everything's still in good condition along the wheelbase, right? Everything still looks clean. Everything still looks amazing. The door, everything outside of dirt, right? I said outside of dirt. Now, I don't know about right here, but everything looks good. Everything looks fantastic. So I thought I'd show you guys that real quick upon jumping back in the vehicle. That's one of the things that I have come to really appreciate about this car, is that it is a very smooth ride, and she does have get up. For 158 horsepower, she can move, yo. Like, there was moments where I had to kind of blow past certain people, and I'm driving an Econ. Like, I've switched to normal this morning, and actually on the way to North Carolina, I was switching between Econ and normal just to get out of certain moments. Like, I would switch it to normal. I would kind of feel the revs ready to go, and then if I had to step on a little bit, if I had to pass somebody on a 2-lane highway because they were driving slow as molasses under the speed limit. So I put it in normal. I wanted to put it in sport. Trust me, I don't drive that much in sport, and I think I will do that this month. I've done a little bit of it. I just noticed she does get a little more louder, but I don't think she's as aggressive. Now, if I use my Tiptronic or, you know, my paddles, maybe I'll get a little bit more out of her. And I'm wondering, let me know down in the comment section, can you rev match in an automatic but with semi-manual capabilities? Can you rev match? That's something I would like to know. But she was very, very smooth in Econ and normal, and fast, had these spurts of, no, I'm gonna pass you, and she would do it, and she's just going, just smooth, just a beautiful ride. If you notice my cluster here, I also kept it very clean. non-distracting because I didn't want to always kind of look and gauge my MPGs. I just kept it clean, and it also kind of fooled me into thinking this was a real speedometer over here for a second. Because once it's clean, it looks super legit. Even if I rev a little bit, you see that how quick. I mean, it's just, there's no latency when it comes to that response, and I love it. And it's minimal. But if we actually come into settings and we scroll down here to range and fuel, you will see that I basically average 28 miles per gallon. So I average 28 miles per gallon on that road overall. This is between just standard driving throughout the month and including the road trip. It was 28 miles per gallon. I forgot to actually reset that to actually get a clean, road trip look. But that is what we got, 28 miles overall. I think the next time we have a nice, decent driver, now that it's a new month and we put 2,089 miles on in the first month, I don't think that's going to happen again. Next month, we might hit 3,000. We might hit 3,500 at most, but we're not going to be anywhere near that right there. We're not going to be anywhere near another 2,000 mile month. And the reason being is because, one, we're not taking another road trip. The road trip was doggone near 700, 800 miles. Oh, no, you're right. It was over 800 miles. I'm tripping. It was over 700. It was like 750-ish. So that's not happening again. 750 miles is not going to happen again in the span of driving. We're going to, I can easily see 1,000, maybe 1,500, but we should be nearing 3,000 by the end of June. July, we might see a slight uptick. We'll see because we have some driving to do, but she held her own, no problems, and that's the beauty of having a car that has some nice safety features. I used lane keep, and that was fun. I could take my hand off the wheel for about 5 to 10 seconds at a time. The car will drive itself. It will warn you before it stops trying to automatically lane keep. It will finally force you to put your hands back on the wheel, so I did get to experience that. I didn't use adaptive cruise control, even though my leg was slightly hurting, my knee, my driving leg. I never put in adaptive cruise control because I just liked driving. I will finally try to use that one of these days. I know my little bro, they got a 2023 Kia Sportage, I believe. And he loves using ACC and his lane keep, and his car actually allows the car will autopilot a whole lot more for him than the Civic will for me. So that's interesting. This here, dealing with music. On the drive, it seemed like depending on the speed, it almost felt like there was an automatic boost or pull down of volume. And I have that turned off in my settings. So that was surprising to see that I had to actually fluctuate the sound, because all my music should be equal. I use Apple Music, and I got rid of, I think, Dolby, one of them, where it might actually legitimately fluctuate the sound. I actually got rid of those songs and just kept it normal. Let me go ahead and turn this back off too. I really like no content. So it was interesting to see I had to change the volume often. My playlist was interesting because it's Apple Music playlist, so sometimes it would repeat songs, surprisingly. But these work just fine. The buttons work just fine. Surprisingly, I enjoyed using the Siri. I basically call it Siri. Siri worked wonders in here. When it came to, if Candace wanted certain song selections, I would hit it, request for the song to be played. It would play it with no problems. And then when I wanted to switch back to my playlist, I would just switch back. I would just say play my driving music playlist on shuffle mode. They would shuffle it. Or I think you can say shuffle driving music playlist, and it will shuffle your playlist and play it. Or if you just want to play the playlist as is, it will play it. So I actually had fun. I could actually depend on this and rely on it. And it became kind of second nature just to hit the button, play the music with no problems. So in terms of space and feel, the seat felt good. I sat back most of the drive. I didn't have any problems, sitting in the seat. My accessories, if you guys want to watch my last Civic video I talked about installing these accessories. Didn't really get in the way of anything. My wallet was just fine sitting in here. Glasses, I didn't even wear them. But I have the space in here to deal with as I please in this car due to these accessories, and I love that aspect. And as a result, me and Candace can switch our cords because she's still on Lightning with her 14 Pro Max. I'm on USB-C with my 15 Pro. So for me, it's not hard with this new little get up here to swap these around. Now she should be updating to the 16, I believe, so this cable will come out and it'll be even more clean in here. So that's something to hopefully will be the case to kind of clean this up. I love the gear shift selector in here. It just feels really good to hold on to while driving. And overall, it just felt very comfortable in here. The rain didn't get in the way. When it did spotty rain, the windshield wiper worked fine in terms of cleaning it off. And the intermittent, allowing it to automatically do it, worked just fine. I mean, it was just a fantastic drive. I like the speakers overall because they still had some punch to them, even driving at, on the highway where it gets a little more loud. But driving an Econ, also much more of a quiet ride. Even normal is more of a quiet ride. Haven't driven at high enough speeds or on the highway enough in sport to really gauge if there's a difference in comfortability. I know I follow this dude named Q to Chaotic. He's a dope creator with cars. He has an Integra Type S, and there's clearly a difference, at least between the Civic Type R and the Integra Type S in terms of dampening that really messes with the ride quality and comfortability. I haven't quite noticed any of that quite yet in this car. I think between this and my Dart, I was pretty comfortable. Nothing really stood out to me in that way, but just knowing everything worked flawless. I had no problems, had nothing to think about. The air worked just fine. We didn't have to manipulate the air that much. Once we left it around 75, we both were comfortable. If she had to, she would grab a cover and lay up. She slept from time to time on the way back. I think she was more awake on the way there. So overall, beautiful drive. It was a simple drive. We had to take back roads because I guess there was a accident or some type of traffic incident on the highway, so it took us back roads, 15 miles here, 4 miles there, 27 miles here, 20 miles there, before we finally got on the highway where we're on it for stretches of 60, 80 miles at a time. And again, really didn't have no problem with dealing with any of that. With the back roads, it was fun because we had some windy roads that I could kind of whip her around a little bit, so that was fun hanging out with her doing that. Pearlz was handling the road, man. What a fantastic ride, and I can't wait to do it again. I have a lot of fun driving this car. I just got to get this tint solved. You know what I'm saying? I just got to get that tint. That's one of the big jobs I want to get in a car wash. I think I'm gonna have it detailed at the dealer again because I think it's like $40. Maybe they'll squeeze me a complimentary one or discount me my first time coming back for anything. I'll get hopefully the dealer will hook me up with a good detail car wash, because they detail car wash, not like some car wash that you run it through. It's manual, so she's gonna come out clean. I'm gonna do that. Finally get me some car accessories to wash the car with, like maybe Adams polishes or Tino Car Care, one of the two. I'm gonna do that, and so that way I can actually have some stuff to clean my vehicle myself with, and then you guys get to see me wash and detail it myself. I'll put that in here in the video for us as well. Man. So hopefully you guys appreciate and enjoyed the review of our 750-mile road trip from Georgia to North Carolina, and hearing how she handled the ride. The potholes were the only thing I didn't really care for and I didn't like, and of course you always like having a little bit more power to really especially when you have some cars on the road that have that power and you kind of want to play around with them a little bit, because there was a couple cars kind of challenging us, and I was like, she looks the part, she is not the part, nowhere near, you know what I'm saying? So outside of those little tweaks, there's plenty of space in here for a ride, even with more than 2 people. With the back seats that I can sit in the back, so we know we have the space in the back. The trunk was more than accommodating for our luggage, and the ride was as smooth and as fast as butter. And even for Candace to say that she enjoyed the road trip, where there's like no problems or didn't feel lengthy, that speaks volume of a car ride as well, where it feels fast. Like the car ride, 6 hours went by really fast in this car. So shout out to Honda for making such a robust, nimble vehicle in this 2024 Honda Civic Sportback. Let me know down in the comment section below. Do you guys enjoy road trips? Do you travel often in your cars? Or you guys like just doing some quick point A to point B's? Would you rather fly? Comment section is open for discussion. But again, as always, if you guys haven't already, make sure to ignite the like button, subscribe to the channel, notification bell. It's all free. That was some videos. So you and I can sit back, check, see what's cracking. And don't forget to hit that super thanks button down there by the like and dislike button, Cash App and PayPal. And check the channel out for all the videos available to you. That's the way to keep tech fresh and alive on this channel. Remember, Micah signing out to the next video. Wait for it.